Yo, it's okay. Man, Jim pains, aching pains, but we're reacting to Fresh and Fit admit they don't practice what they preach. I'm not gonna lie, it's been pretty obvious from like the jump that they don't. I actually like this is a judgment free zone, right? I wonder like how many of these people have actually like took their advice and like actually like succeeded from that, right? Because like to me, good advice can be given by like from anyone, right? Like you don't gotta be these people, but like these type of dudes, these red pill dudes, like they try to encourage like healthy in quotation mark practices for young adults, right? Young males, where like they could be a leader, they could be strong, understand like money and all the other stuff they promise to help you with women, but like a good majority of the time, these fellas they don't practice what they preach, bro. Didn't the ugly ass fella, I forget his name already, didn't he like get some Chinese lady pregnant that he paid for to be with? Like, I don't know. But like judgment free zone, I just want to know if this has actually helped any men at all. Like if there's any men who actually like follow their routine and actually gotten like more confident through what they have advised them to do.
From prior to Angie.
Not really.
Okay, so
No.
you've never had a girlfriend in your life until you dated a foreign girl.
Not like yeah. But
Case in closed.
no,
Password,
no.
bro.
In closed. You never had a girlfriend or a serious relationship until you met a foreigner.
Wait a minute. Run that back.
When was the last time you had a girlfriend prior to Angie?
Not really.
Okay, so
No.
you've never had a girlfriend in your life.
I don't think I heard that right. I don't think
Never had a girlfriend in your life.
Not really.
Guess
No.
you
it all makes sense now. Oh my gosh. So for the past couple of years, Fresh and Fit, specifically Myron Gain, has gained popularity based off of talking
hate-
about men, women, and the
Also,
relationship.
I'm gonna keep it honest. I hate this fella here, Myron, bro. If you're on Twitter, this fella will say any slur possible, bro, on any random comment, bro. This fella here, bro, he says a lot of wild. I'm gonna be more PG, but I do not like this fella, and the fact that he's giving relationship advice and woman advice and like how to like handle women and shit and stuff like that, while only having one girl and some foreign girl is insane to me. But whatever, bro, whatever. Getting
Dynamic.
led by a blind leader, bro. But at the same time, they say sometimes you don't gotta be a player to know how to like coach people, you feel me? So I guess maybe he fall underneath that. I doubt though.
Between the two. Getting into one, how to maintain one, how to manage one. But it's all come out. And a lot of people had sneaky suspicion that he's never had one, but it's being revealed that he's never really been in one. Never really had a girlfriend. Been solo dolo this whole fucking time.
When you build a family with a woman, should be very selective.
But that's my whole purpose, is to say most women are not necessarily going to be in that position to be worthy of a relationship. So you have to be extremely selective,
Right,
because girls
but
will come pretty
it doesn't require you to sleep with 50 women to get to that point.
50 is going to put you in a position to have the correct mindset to assess female character and to understand female nature.
But I think your opinions are based on your experiences and what you've learned throughout your life. And I would push back to say, at least telling men as a general rule that those things are true, I don't think you're doing them justice.
It's very
I don't
anecdotal.
think you need to be a basketball player to talk basketball. I don't think that you need to be a movie maker to criticize.
Hey, I just said that. I
don't
just said
think
the same
you
thing.
specifically have to be in that field to criticize that field, but boy, oh boy.
If you take your fame and clout out of it and the money, you're gonna have super low sexual market value. You could be an ugly nigga and get girls, but you have to be extra strict with bringing girls in your shit. And what do I tell y'all is every f***ing time when I talk about influencer bit, never get with girls that are influencers.
Spouting that rhetoric as if you were some sort of authority figure, when the whole time you were a lonely Larry, you were a nobody Nancy, you were just
That's what
a
I'm
single
saying.
individual speaking about these perspectives. And
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy to make yourself like the head of something that you have really little to no experience. You weren't dating no influencer girl. Only women you were talking to, bro. I'm not gonna hold you, were OnlyFans shorties, and you were not. You were probably playing for, bro. These fellas they trick rich fellas, bro. For rich, ugly, lonely fellas like this fella here, Myron, whatever his name is. They trick, bro. If you don't know what tricking is, it's like paying a woman to either like be your girl or whatever. Like imagine like, oh yeah, you want a girl, right? Well, you gotta drop like 5K on like a bag or something, bro. She's not with you because she likes you. She's with you because you keep giving her money. All right? Or they're paying for like, you know what I'm saying, to get their noodles wet. Regardless, it's like imagine being the leader of trying to like coach fellas on how and what they should do with women when you only have one relationship, bro. And again, I'm not saying you gotta like be in a relationship to understand and how to like guide people for sure, because I feel like a lot of good advice do come from people who have never been in relationships, right? Like they see it from like an outside perspective and they can think more rational. But again, parading like you're this big shot fella all the time with this false persona, and then doing this, and it's crazy to me. It's just straight up scamming people, bro.
Validates and gives
All
no
a facade.
credibility to literally anything that you've said over the past couple of
All a
years. Mind you, this
facade.
is the same guy who's been talking about Speed, who's been talking about Kai, who's been talking about Young Dabo, who's been talking about everybody's relationship. Literally criticizing anytime a famous streamer has been seen with a girl, saying, oh, this doesn't work because this doesn't work because of that, when you just got into a relationship. Now, this isn't some sort of new behavior from Myron, and it's really not a revelation. In fact, it's commonly attributed to a lot of people
Yup.
on the outside into the red pill community, is that they just spew negativity and hatred towards.
From my understanding, it's not always negativity to some extent, right? I'm gonna give them a little bit of credit, right? They do try to help. Some of them who genuinely try to like help man get on like the right path of being healthy, but majority of the time, what's being clipped, what's being shared, what's being shown, it's always the negative, weird, goofy ass takes.
Relationships. They talk down about women. They say that they can't tolerate them. They're this, that, and the third. But whether it be Myron, Walter, Andrew Tate, or anybody else in this red pill manosphere space, it seems like continuously they spit out this nasty ass rhetoric about dating and relationships and women. But some of their rhetoric leads people to ask these questions like, have you ever talked to a woman before? Have you ever been in a relationship? Have you ever even dealt with a woman on any sort of romantic level at all? And we're not talking about surrounding yourself with a bunch of 304s that you might have got off of, I don't know, a casting call or Craigslist. We're talking about meeting people, having genuine reactions and interactions, and then going past first base. And by first base, I mean exchanging the phone number. Now, as much damage as Sneako's done, he's gone back and kind of rectified and talked about some of the situations that are showing themselves about the red pill community, kind of peeling back that onion or unveiling that curtain about what's really going on.
Stingo eventually came to his senses, so like,
And I think a lot of the guys in the red pill space that are leading the movement, they're not allowed to show vulnerable moments. They're not allowed to say that they fall in love, because then the red pill guys who are all angry are going to be like, that's gay to fall in love.
See, these people are one of two things. Either people who have figured out the algorithm, have figured out ways to push these narratives and these lies to get these gender wars going, or get these perpetually
it pays
nasty
bills,
ass
bro.
takes off in
Like,
order to get the conversation started for the conversation's sake, in order to divide and then ultimately conquer on some of these male pockets, or they're just
that way, shit, I feel like I should let him finish, but like before the thought leaves me, I agree, bro. Like right now, right? There's supposedly, and maybe it's not a supposed thing, but there's a male loneliness epidemic going on, right? And like, people want attention, people want love, people want to be with someone, people want friends, etc., etc. So like, as someone who wants to make money, who's like doesn't really have the best moral compass, it was one of the best ways to do that, bro. You capitalize on that thing, right? I think red pill podcasts take advantage of a lot of like men who actually do want to improve themselves, and they'll like say this wild stuff to like kind of like egg them on, right? Like, for example, do y'all know that one, I forget his name, that one black fella where like he would cater to women and all their like weird their weird stuff, like man should do this, man should do that as a man, blah 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 blah, like that type of stuff, for like just to cater to women because he know like that was paying his bills. I forget that fella's name, but it's the same thing with the red pill community, right? They pan to the anger that a lot of these men hold, and these men like, oh yeah, I agree with that, oh yeah, he's spitting facts, oh yeah, women really don't deserve me, blah 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 blah. And then while y'all are all agreeing, right, feeling like yes, you finally have someone who agrees with you, who understands you, you're feeling their pockets, right? At the end of the day, they probably don't believe this, or even if they do believe this, you are nothing. I don't want to say this like it's maybe it's not for like everyone, right? I don't want to just dump a whole bunch of people in there, but I want to say a good majority of the time you're nothing but a paycheck to them, bro. They're capitalizing off of your anger to get money, and it's the same way with like OnlyFans stuff too. I do think that stuff is also a little predatory. It also capitalizes on like a lonely man too. Like it goes both ways. I'm not gonna lie. Like red pill community for sure capitalize on like the men loneliness and all that other stuff starts gender wars, and the OnlyFans stuff girls definitely again are predator towards like lonely men because like I feel like the lonely men are the ones that are buying this type of their type of content. But
Straight up grifters.
I feel like I
You
went
see
on a tangent there. My fault.
how fickle this community is when you have literally the people sitting at the top being two bumbling idiots who are looking for any way to elongate their dying career that can't be dying fast enough. If one pocket of insult rhetoric doesn't work, then obviously they hop into the next pocket of insult rhetoric and just another place in a space where they can rage bait and get the algorithm going by dunking on a select group of people.
Bro, reparations are for fucking cards, okay? Black people need to just stop being lazy. You need to get your reparations. What you gonna do with it? You gonna buy a bunch of some Jordans, some fucking drugs?
This fakeness and willingness to take on any sort of agenda can only come from somebody who is so much of a loser that he is willing to participate in conversations and make up scenarios and be hyperbolic about situations in which
So that's
he's
another
not
reason why I
even
hate this motherfucker,
experienced.
bro.
I'm not sneaking around in my own house. My girl don't talk back to me. There's no arguments. This is how it is. She packs my fucking condoms when I travel. That's how real it is. She lives a great fucking life and she's a beautiful girl. She's hotter than all the girls here, no offense. If you got a guy that checks off all the boxes, you got to pay the price for that man checking all those boxes. He didn't check all those boxes off to just fuck you.
Think about it. Myron literally has never had a girlfriend besides this one. So where does all this dating and girlfriend rhetoric come from? It comes from the mind of somebody who knows how to push people's buttons and is so much of a loser that they would just create a whole lifestyle and identity based off of a fake image. But you know, we got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
It pays
man.
it
He's
pays
just
the bills,
speaking
bro.
from the perspective of somebody who studied the game, right? You know, we're not saying that you got to be players. You can be observers and still have a takeaway, right?
Let's go into a dream scenario. You wake up, you open up your Instagram, 20 DMs, all bad bitches from different parts of the world. Wow, you're so handsome. What's your name? Where are you from? Hey, I got a boat party later today. Come through. And then you're getting all these offers. You're 19 years old, you just graduated high school, you have no skills. You don't have a job, your parents pay for everything, life is great. That happens for a day, you'll be stoked. Happens for 2 days, you'll be really excited. Happens for a week, you're on top of the world. But what happens when you get this level of attention for a month, 2 months, a year, 3 years? What do you think happens to you as a person? Your personality corrodes. Your ability to critically think evaporates because everything's been given to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to the modern woman.
This is his take on modern woman. This is his take on the daily life of the modern woman. Is like, this is how she lives her day to day every day. Oh, you guys were idiots for listening to him. So this whole time,
I don't know shorty in my group that is getting fucking flown out, bro, to some boat trip. But I mean, I guess in that response, I guess you could be like, oh well, they're not as fine as like blah blah blah. But if this is the modern woman, right, the average woman, then again, bro's smoking on straight diggling because this is definitely not true.
this experience that he's been depicting only relates to like 1% or even less than 1%
Exactly,
of
bro.
the people that populate this earth. And then he decided to go out, dedicate whole platforms in order to spreading this propaganda and ideology for the young folks to just eat up and be even more divisive than they already are on social media based off of niggas like him.
It's easier for you to speak like that on a podcast where objectively speaking 2020 hindsight, but when you're in your feelings, your boyfriend pissed you off, you're mad, your girlfriend's in your ear, he's a bitch anyway. Single girls keep girls single. They give them each other the worst advice.
Studies actually show that when women have more sexual partners, it hurts their ability to be in a long-standing marriage. But for men, it has no effect because men are designed to be promiscuous. That's why we make 1 million sperm a day. But with women, they only have a finite amount of time to have a child. They only have a certain amount of eggs. So women are designed to preserve the eggs.
I hate
for the
this
best
talking
mate.
point
What
too.
I said with Ben Shapiro and a lot of these traditional conservatives have wrong.
Bro, I think like, yo, if you as a man are not what's the word? That's not, because I don't know if that will give, I mean, we're far in the video, right? I think it doesn't matter at this point. If you as a man are not a virgin, I'm not gonna hold you. I don't feel like you can expect women to be virgins as well, bro. I can understand keeping your chastity, right? Keeping your shit safe. If you're one of those fellas who are waiting towards marriage, who's a true, like, you know, fella like that, for real, right? I would respect you for wanting a woman who is also on the same vibe as you. But if you out here putting your noodle and everything. Like you got like 20 bodies, bro, and you feel weird because a shorty got like 4 or 5. Hey, dog, you might be the problem, bro. You might be the problem. Okay. If you're a person who has a few bodies and you want someone else with like a few bodies, understandable, right? I just feel like y'all got to keep you gotta like. I think in that whole situation, that whole conversation, you got to be realistic and you got to be on the same level of thing, bro. I feel like you can't be asking for too much if you're someone who is out here clapping every shorty you see and you want someone who has never experienced that ever, bro. That's asking for too much.
Is that they think women
Like,
still
it's hypocritical
operate and behave like it's 1950, but guess what? We don't have religion, we don't have shame, we don't have society telling women not to.
Because if
be
you're talking about
eligible.
religious wise, pretty sure in the Bible tells you keep your noodle safe, bro. Don't dip your noodle in water until you're married. But look at you, fellas, bro. Noodle drenched. So like again, that's on you.
Guys have to adapt to the new normal, even though that advice might have worked 50, 60, 70 years ago, but guys need to adapt.
We've got to figure out a way to stop platforming these people who don't have the life experience that we see ourselves having or strive to having. I think it's very important to respect and empower those who have experienced these things. And I'm talking about experiencing the outcome, not necessarily the journey. There's too many men that have had sex with women, and there's too many women who have had sex with men to think that these people's opinions are respected or valuable in all these senses. I saw this video on TikTok and I think it summarizes my exact emotions to the T.
I remember one day I was talking to my pops about alpha male gurus and these, toxic podcasts that are leading black people astray in dating and relationships, right? And then I asked him one question that completely dismantled his entire perspective for the most part. I said, would you tell young men who are college age or just out of college to take advice from a black man who's been married 30 plus years, been in corporate America 20 plus years, has made 6 figures 20 plus years, and is married to a black woman, put one kid through college, and is about to put another kid through college? Or take advice from a 52-year-old podcaster who's been divorced twice and gives advice to women online? And he was speechless.
Look, being a young man, I heard so much about how to
That Kevin
utilize my
Samuels?
20s that honestly it got tiring. But what I didn't see was a lot of people that had an outcome that I thought was desirable trying to give me advice. Now, no disrespect to the people in my lives, but I didn't see good careers. I didn't see good relationships with their wives. I didn't see kids that loved them and celebrated their Father's Day. I can remember one time working at a restaurant where I worked on Father's Day, and literally there were a row of dads telling me what I should do with my 20s. I should save up my money, go to the DR and do this, that, and the third, buy this car, have sex with all these women. And I always thought to myself, you're in here on Father's Day by yourself and your kids live in this state. Why are you not with your kids? That's not the outcome for me. And I never want to listen to those types of guys. I find it my mission to look for people who have the outcome that I want to achieve and take advice from them. I think it's just that simple. I'm not taking advice from somebody who is in their, mid-30s, whose first girlfriend was like last year or 2 years ago. That just doesn't make sense to me. If my goal is to create a family, get married, have a successful career, stable business, whatever the case may be, I'm going to look for somebody who did just that. Not somebody who is in their 30s talking about continuing to smash 304s, or not somebody who is, 50 years old and died with a hooker on top of them. I know people are going to hate me for that one, but I'm just telling you the truth.
Who's that? I don't know who that is, but yeah, no. I mean, I agree with everything he said in this video, but I don't like Myron. I don't like Fresh and Fit. All those fellas are whatever, bro. But I genuinely do want to know if like any of the red pill stuff actually helped any man feel more confident in themselves, right? Without having that strong, I guess, hatred towards women, right? I assume that you would have to be very, I don't know. But let me know your thoughts below in the comments and all that stuff. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.